Welcome back, everybody, to the VRML. Hopefully, everything is up and running. How's it going? I'm your host tonight, Gibular Bob. Just working to get everything up and running here. Got a matchup for you tonight. Static Creed versus Devour Esports. Now, we're going to hop right into round one because things are already taking off. So, make sure everything is up and running. Mic looks good. Game audio looks good as well. Okay. It was a bit of a rush order here, but I was able to get everything up and going. So, let's get into round one here. Static Creed starting off on the offense. I forgot to look and see if the teams were on the right side. Well, we'll just go with it as we move along here. Starting off, we have a Truest Neutral over by Garage. Just going to pop open that garage door there. While White Tigs and Stormtrooper rotating over to the living room, where Cleric is waiting. Sites, by the way, are dining room and kitchen. 2 minutes, 35 seconds on the clock. There is the drone moving into living room as Big Man is going to get foam on that wall. We'll take a look at the matchup page at the end of this round, but currently White Tigs putting foam on that foyer wall, and it's a Site A push. Not something you see that often, but Cleric will find that kill on White Tigs. Tog is going to refrag Cleric as Filibust will go down to Stormtrooper. Big Man taking out Chosen One. It's now a 4 versus 2. Devour starting off a little bit down in players, but Stanky will find Tog. That EMP has yet to be planted. Truest Neutral looking for Stanky, but we've got this 2v3 situation going on right here. Stormtrooper trying to find Tire Tongue. Wow, that was incredibly loud. Okay, there we go. Tire Tongue looking to find some shots, but Devour just kind of getting shut out here. Static Creed unable to get the EMP planted, though, so interesting start we've had to this round. Still a 2v3. We see the EMPs going for that finish, but Stanky will go down to Big Man. It's now just down to Tire Tongue, who's got a 1v3. Looking for the kill on Truest Neutral, but Stormtrooper, sitting way in the back of living room, will find that shot and closes out round one for Static Creed. We're off to a fantastic start. Now, if we move over to our matchup page, taking a look at these two teams. Devour Esports 7-5-2 is their record. Static Creed 9-5-2. Devour number 13 in the leaderboard. Static Creed number 16. So these teams are pretty close in their placement on the leaderboard. Best map for Devour is going to be Skyscraper with 42 rounds played there, 57% of those won. Factory, the next best map with 1 less percent than their Skyscraper. Meanwhile, on Static Creed, 117 rounds on Factory, 68% of those have been won. Hideout is second on Static Creed's list, third on Devour's. They haven't had a previous encounter, so interesting to see what will happen between these two teams here in Week 12, Season 1 of the Breachers VRML. There's the breaching foam on Jim. It's White Tigs and Tog getting ready to push in on storage. There goes the hatch. Here comes the drone moving in. Good smoke, which is going to cover Static Creed. Chosen One will go down to Truest Neutral, who finds 2 before... Oh, it hasn't gone down yet. Picks up the third on Filibust, but Filibust took out Stormtrooper before going down. Here comes Stanky through the garage hatch. Finds the kill on Truest Neutral. There they go on Devour, picking up that 1 kill. Tire Tongue now over in Jim. 3 versus 2. The EMP has been planted, so it's going to be tough for Devour to get this plant off, or excuse me, the defuse off. Sadly not on the starting roster for this map. Sorry to hear that, Gravity. Let's see if you get a chance to shine. Big Man finding the kill on Stanky as Tire Tongue unable to secure a kill there. It's going to be a 3 versus 1. And Devour not able to pick up this round. They get shut out again by Static Creed. Very, very nice plant there on Static Creed. They knew what they needed to do. They got in there. They pushed in. They realized all they had to do was get in, plant the EMP, and then get out and just watch it from outside. And really, that's the smartest way to play it. You know, you don't need to overextend, feed the other side any extra kills. But we'll see what happens to Devour. They're off to a rocky start, unable to find that momentum that they need against Static Creed, who performed slightly better on hideouts than Devour. And we'll see what happens here on round 3. So, if you're Static Creed, what's the play here? It looks like they might just try a family room breach. Static Creed has done some pretty conventional plays. They haven't done anything way too crazy in terms of the playbook, but honestly, I mean, I think that you don't necessarily need to do a really crazy play if you can execute you know, your typical strategy very well. I think so far Static Creed has done a tremendous job with that filibust out in Family Room Balcony. It's the full buy round from both teams. I guess the Vesm round. Here's Stanky in the front of Bathroom at the moment. We see a drone downstairs. True solution to pick up the kill on Stanky. That frag grenade almost catches Stormtrooper, who does have the EMP, but will get a heal off. They do have a frag still on Devour. Tire Tongue picking up the kill on Big Man. A nice instant in the middle of Bathroom there. Truest neutral finding the kill on Chosen One. That frag is not going to go where they wanted to. White Tiggs will pick up the kill on Filibust, as it's now just down to Tire Tongue and Cleric. Devour in a tough spot this round. So we see Tire going for the flank through Site B. But again, Static Creed way out of sight. They're not playing anywhere near it because they've got great angles on it. So let's see what happens here. Good window play by White Tiggs, just keeping Devour Esports out of there. Stormtrooper will pick up the kill on Tire Tongue, as it's now just down to Cleric, who may want to think about saving that Vesm, but it's just really pinched right now. Finds a head tap on Tog, but Tog will pick up that headshot on Cleric. And round 3 goes to Static Creed. They pick up a hat trick there. Kept 4 of their players alive that round, so they're on fire over here on Static Creed. Tremendous round from Static Creed, who's again just really starting off strong here in this first half of Hideout. We'll see. Maybe Devour can pick up some momentum in these last 3 rounds of the first half, or if they need to switch over to the second half to reset things and get back to where they need to be in terms of momentum. But so far, Static Creed have done an excellent job of getting the EMP down and keeping it covered. And that's really, again, all they need to do. And they're doing a really good job of it. Devour, they're just struggling to get control of these sites. They're on another Eco round, so it's still going to be tough for them to pick up a win here. Static Creed gets more and more money. We're reaching snowball territory, which is what I call it when the team just has so much money that it becomes very difficult to win against them at all in that half. So we'll see. I mean, I've certainly seen teams like Aspect beat another top team even when they were on an eco round. So it's possible for Devour to come back here. Best case scenario for them right now is to tie it heading into the second half. But if you're a Static Creed fan, you might be interested to know that they could go all the way into the second half with that first half lockout 6-0. We'll see what happens. There's the breach into garage. A stormtrooper getting foam on the garage hatch into storage where Stanky is waiting. Chosen one just in the doorway. Static Creed on the move. Tog tossing a frag grenade. Stanky tossing one of their own. Finding the kill on Stormtrooper swinging. Takes out 2. Very, very nice play from Stanky there. Tog, however, will get the refrag. Filibust with a very nice one-tap on Tog. It hasn't gone well for Static Creed this time around, as Filibust now picking up a Vezin of their own. Static Creed lost it a bit on this round. Filibust now has that extra Vezin and the heal. That's the very nice pick of util. The EMP wasn't planted. However, Big Man does have it. Looks like they're trying to switch up the strategies here on Static Creed. Could potentially throw off Devour. We'll see what happens. They do still have 2 Spectral players, Cleric and Tire Tongue, so in terms of being outgunned, I'd say Static Creed still has a pretty good advantage against Devour Esports. If they can take out Phil early, they may be able to save this round, but they've got to get moving. Only a minute left on the clock. Could this be the round for Devour? Filibust may ruin their day here on Static Creed as we see Big Man moving down the big stairs. Filibust moving. Oh my goodness, Big Man might actually find this kill here. Oh, Big Man. Big Man picking up the kill on Filibust. There's now just 2 left as Tire Tongue over in storage right now. Big Man's not checking the corner. Tire Tongue will pick up the kill. It's now just down to White Tiggs, who picks up the kill, or the refrag on Tire Tongue, but it's now Cleric versus White Tiggs, who's got to get that EMP planted, can't find the heal, has to push into the room. Cleric is tucking in Boiler. The EMP hasn't been recovered yet. White Tiggs has to push for the kill, but Cleric is rotating back into side A, taking the risk. And this round will go to Devour. Very, very solid gameplay there as Cleric looks for the kill, but White Tiggs will find it, denying that extra Vezin from Devour, who's got a very, very nice economy moving into this round. You know, at the last moment there, it's just really difficult to make a choice when you've only got a couple seconds left on the clock. Really, White Tiggs had to make a choice there. You either push for the final kill, or you go for the EMP plant. I think just trying to scavenge for a healing syringe wasted even more time for White Tiggs there. And in the end, it was probably a little bit of indecision that hurt White at the end of that round, but Static Creed still 2 rounds over Devour. Unfortunately for SCD, they're not going to move into the next half locking it out, but they could still shoot for a 5-1. We'll see what happens. Devour definitely more prepared this time with some great util. Tog is going to get fragged by Filibust, who goes bowling. Frag won't kill Tog, but it will certainly let Devour know that somebody is over there. Tire Tongue with a very nice run out, but he's unable to find a kill there. Good flank watch from Static Creed. They were able to mitigate any kind of damage. Tog will get the breaching foam down on the kitchen wall. Here's Cleric in the back, as it might be a 2-prong, one from Laundry, the other from Garage. There it is, as we see a frag tossing. Cleric tucking in the corner. Stormtrooper is going to pick up the kill on Filibust. We see Chosen One just peeking the pantry. There's Cleric, looks to swing out, finding one on Big Man. Looks to pick up a second, but will get refragged by Stormtrooper. True's neutral takes out Stanky, as it's now a 2 versus 4, and Static Creed are executing their push better again. as we see Chosen One over by Pantry. However, Tire Tongue picks up the kill on White Ticks. Chosen One takes out Stormtrooper, but Tog finds the kill on Chosen One. It's now just down to Tire Tongue against Tog and Truce Neutral. 1 versus 2 here on round 5. The EMP has been planted by Static Creed as we see Tire Tongue on 61 health. Finding the kill on Tog, just has to clutch it up and takes out to Truce Neutral. And what a tremendous double kill to give Devour their second round. A really, really nice round here from Devour Esports. Very, very solid retake from the site. It looked promising for Static Creed, but in the end, they just weren't able to pick that round up. I didn't get the notification. Yeah, I was not originally intending to be the one running cams tonight, so I had to set everything up a little bit late. So unfortunately, you weren't able to get the notification. Apologies. Let's put up the scoreboard here for everybody to see. Devour definitely does get more of that economy this round. I mean, they're able to keep up Vezins, but they're still taking a lot of losses. So they're not able to completely run away from it. Here we go into round 5. Excuse me, round 6. This is the halftime round. So after this, the teams are going to switch up. Let's see, Static Creed. Can they bring it back on defense? Currently, they are still ahead. But they've definitely lost their momentum in these previous 2 rounds, which Devour has picked up 2 consecutive rounds. Best case, again, for them is to tie it up right now. But Static Creed are going to push for that 4-2. There goes the door blocker. They do have 2 frag grenades over on Devour Esports. Here comes the push as Tire Tongue picks up the kill on Tog. Cleric will find a Stormtrooper with a frag. Here's another solid frag. Big Man picks up the kill on Philibus. It's now a 3 versus 4. Devour have executed this pretty well, but Truce Neutral will find the kill on Cleric. Big Man still just watching the shower window. Trying to find any Devour players in the back. Minute 40 now on the clock as White Tiggs looks to push into the site. Stanky finds the kill on Truce Neutral, which gives Tire Tongue the opportunity to find that kill on White Tiggs. This hasn't gone well for Static Creed. It's now just down to Big Man to take out the 3 remaining Devour players. Big Man can't salvage here. He's going to have to push in at some point. Looks like Big Man's going to try their luck with the Skylight. This could get them into Site B. Is Devour watching their flank? Ooh, the proximity alarm. That's not good for Static Creed, specifically for Big Man. Stanky just tucking out in the family room balcony. Big Man has to check that corner. He's going to walk right into Stanky, who picks up a very solid kill. Devour bringing it back as they tie it up heading into the second half of Map 1. Here we go as Static Creed moving in on the defense. Devour starting things off on the offense here. Taking a look at the starting eco spectrals all across the board. Apologies. Just something. 1 second. Okay, let me pull the chat back up. Starting off, round 7 here. Devour over on the offense. Starting the push off, they can set the pace of the attack. Can be an advantage. Filibust starting things off with a kill on truest neutral. Devour looked to be back here. They were shaky those first few rounds. See Stanky, Cleric, Filibust all in garage along with Chosen One. Tire Tongue just by Jim. Looking to probably bait out an attack there, but Devour not pushing from Jim. Here comes Tire Tongue. Flashbang into garage. Big Man responds with a frag as the second frag is tossed, this time by Devour. Stanky picking up the kill on Big Man. Stormtrooper finds the kill on Filibust. Stanky with the double as Tog finding Tire Tongue. It's now a 3 versus 2. There's a frag tossed by Static Creed that's going to push Chosen One out a little bit. Minute and a half left on the clock as Devour getting ready to push in. They've opened up the storage wall by the fort. Here comes Chosen One pushing in. Finding the kill on Tog, gets refragged by White Tiggs, who's got a 1v2 this against Cleric and Stanky. It's possible. It's certainly possible. Minute 10 left on the clock. White Tiggs definitely has their work cut out for them. Cleric is getting the EMP planted. Stanky waiting behind the bomb as White Tiggs looks to find that kill with the Spectral. But Stanky finding those shots. And now Devour is going to kind of reverse the attack that Static Creed did on them at the very beginning of this game. They got the EMP planted. White Tiggs is on 1 health. Anything can happen, but it's going to be very difficult. Nearly impossible for White Tiggs to clutch this round up. 30 seconds left on the EMP. That seems to be curtains for Static Creed in this round. There it is. Time is going to expire on this round. Silo, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. I don't want to do my math test. I feel that. But you got to stay in school. Got to stay in school. Because how else will you know how to do the math for your economy in Breachers? Got to know how to calculate your eco if you want to if you want to do well in the comp scene. So make sure you're going to school, doing your math test, so that you can learn how to play Breachers. All right, here we go. It's the Vezin round from Devour. Well, at least we're going to see a couple of round 2 Vezins, at least 2 of them. One from Tire, one from Stanky. 4 Spectrals and a Jesper in the hands of Static Creed at the moment. Wonder what the play is going to be here from both these teams. It looks like it's going to be a garage push, and it could be a 2-prong from Laundry and Garage Wall. They typically try and like to wrap the map and at least move over to Laundry. If you try Garage, it may just be a choke point. They could watch the flank. There's a lot of possibilities for Devour right now. You see Big Man tucking in Garage. May find a kill here. Oh, on an unsuspecting Devour player by Tire Tongue. Quick to the trigger. Flicks onto Big Man. Finds a second. Stormtrooper in the back of Kitchen. right behind that island there. I think Devour expecting somebody to be back there. Philibus tossing a very nice frag into the connector. Almost finding Tog. Stormtrooper in the back of Kitchen. Finds that kill on Cleric. Philibus taking out Stormtrooper. It's now a 4 versus 2. As Devour have really kind of turned the tables here on Static Creed. Tire Tongue being taken out by Tog, however, 3 versus 2. They're doing an excellent job of working the board down here on Static Creed, but Philibus going to take out Tog, who just uncrouched into that Vezin there. White Tiggs getting caught from a very solid angle. Now on 12 health. Again, it's going to be difficult for White to secure a kill here. Spectral against Vezin is a difficult battle to win. You're probably only going to win that if you get the jump on your opponent or by the aim of a Stormtrooper, but unfortunately for Static Creed, that's not the case. As Stanky finds that kill on White Tiggs. And there you have it, a 5-3 game with Devour now in the lead. They're starting to build up a healthy lead too. 2 rounds up on Static Creed, who look to have a strong start, but ultimately we're just unable to find that success. Okay, just making sure, periodically checking the broadcast here. I don't want to screw anything up. Here come the Vezins from Static Creed. They only get 2. Devour has a ton of eco to play around with. This guy really just said stay in school to learn eco, saving, and breaches. Look, you can apply math to a lot of things in everyday life, including breachers. So make sure you're going to school so that you can learn math to calculate your eco. Learn English to communicate with your teammates better. I need to see some citations with your callouts now. In MLA format, make sure. Make sure it's in MLA format. Truest neutral over in garage right now might be spotted by that drone. Interesting. It hasn't been spotted yet. Oh, here it comes. And they know Truest neutral is now in kitchen. Tire Tongue looking to investigate, has the EMP. This could be dangerous as Truest neutral finds the kill on Tire Tongue. The EMP's now been dropped. Truest neutral finding a second on their way out. Can Truest find that third there? We're about to walk right into Stanky, who finds the kill on Truest neutral. Good pre-fire from Stanky. A 3 versus 4. Static Creed with the numbers advantage right now. See Cleric down in courtyard. There's been a breach into gym. Cleric's going to take out that static field emitter. Static Creed definitely can just dig in here and wait out the round. A minute and a half. Devour have time, but they're starting to run a little low. They're going to need to make some kind of a move here. Stormtrooper waiting by big stairs. Good spot to tuck. A lot of teams will expect somebody to be in storage. Now, Cleric is also in a pretty good spot here because if Stormtrooper tries to swing that, they may miss Cleric. See a frag tossed as Tog, the only member of Static Creed in Site B, in the fort right now. So if Devour can take out Tog, they might be able to get the EMP planted. Cleric looking for the static there, but Stormtrooper with a very nice swing. Philibus taking out Tog. They can get the EMP down. That might be their best shot at survival over here on Devour. Philibus will take out that static field emitter that's been quite pesky for Devour. 30-second warning on the EMP is Phil just looking for a flank there. Takes out Stormtrooper. Very, very nice flank. Watch, 20 seconds on the clock. breaching foam as White Tigs finding Filibust. Even better flank watch on Static Creed. I guess a nice flank. It wasn't really a flank watch. It's now just down to Stanky. It's just the Pythagorean theorem for insane nade throws. That's for triangles. That would be like if you have to calculate the triangle on a skin, the hypotenuse of the triangle on a skin. We see Stanky getting ready to swing into storage. May find the kill on White Tigs, who Big Man is using as bait! Picks up the kill on Stanky to give Static Creed their first round in a while. They were in a bit of a scoring drought there. Hadn't scored anything for 5 straight rounds. I'm also somewhat new to what is and what isn't a pizza walk. Not really third floor. There was a guideline published in the VRML Discord. So it's got to do with the length of a spectral and a Vezin. But, you know, unfortunately I can't make a call on that. I'm a caster, so the teams would have to open up a ticket if they would like to verify if something is legal or not. Okay, here we go. Starting off, round 10 here. Static Creed only 1 round off of Devour right now. Where is the push coming from Devour? All right, perfect. There we go. We see a bedroom push from Devour Esports, often known as difficult to execute, but can be very effective if your team can execute it properly. We'll see if Devour can do that. They've got breaching foam on the bedroom wall. There goes the breach. That door blocker might be a little bit pesky because they don't have that extra angle to watch. No, it's a fake out. It's Chosen One taking out Tog. Stanky finding the kill on White Tigs. Tog finding Cleric with a very nice frag. Stanky tossing a frag to the corner, but Chosen One will find the kill on Big Man. Excuse me, that was Big Man that threw that frag. Filibust looks to get the EMP planted as it's now just down to Truce, Neutral, and Stormtrooper. There's the EMP. It's been planted. 1 round from Devour will put them on match point. As Filibust finding the kill on Stormtrooper, it's now just down to Truce, Neutral. Has to 1v4 this. A Chosen One waiting, tucking in the corner. Very, very solid kill. And that will move Devour Esports into match point of this first map. So, Devour has plenty of eco. Static Creed, it's looking a little bit dire for them right now. They're only able to pick up 1 Vezin. They do get an RCP. It's going to be tough for this team. They started off with a lot of great success, picking up 3 rounds over Devour. Really making the connoisseurs sweat there for a moment, but ultimately Devour brought it back 5 straight rounds. They did lose 1 more to Static Creed, but they picked it back up again. Secured match points on this first map. So they've guaranteed themselves at least a draw, but Devour are hungry, and they're going to look for that first win here over Static Creed. It is certainly possible, especially on this round for Devour, but we'll see what happens as they are all moving upstairs at the moment. Interesting. Pretty spread formation across the top floor. Tog is upstairs as Filibust finding an excellent pick on Tog. Oh no, that was the Vezin player for Static Creed. Oh, man, that's going to be rough for SCD here. So they're now just down to 2 RCP players, an Omen player, and the Spectral. Truest neutral making their way upstairs. Looking for a kill here, but Tire Tongue. Stanky in bedroom. Truest will head back down the big stairs. Almost ran right into some Devour players, but here comes Stanky. Looks like Stanky was rotating out into the hallway that Truest Neutral is in. There's Chosen One who finds a kill on Truest Neutral. And it's a 5 versus 3 filibust over in living room at the moment. There's, I heard a drop. Yeah, it was down out in family room. There's the breach on the small stairs hallways. Filibust finding the kill on Big Man. It's now just a 2 versus 5. Static Creed need a miracle here to bring it back in the first map. Cleric will find the kill on White Takes. However, as Filibust closes things off with a very solid kill on Stormtrooper. Devour are your winners of map 1. And what a solid first map that was. And that was just incredible gameplay from Devour. Had a great opening map. Just 1 second. Okay. All right. Now, you may have noticed we've got a second caster here, Nightfire, joining me from the VRML stream team. Nightfire, how you doing?
I am great. We just got done watching a great first set coming in from the fan favorites, Devour Esports. I was just taking a look at the connoisseur votes, kind of getting a feel for where people were relying on where they think this is going to go. And so far, I suppose, they're feeling pretty good off of a solid Devour Esports Map 1 win. We now go to that series point for them. And Static Creed facing a little bit of adversity, and I wanted to tune into this match this afternoon, Gib, because this is a matchup that's between two teams right on the cusp of competing for that skin, that top 8 position in the regular season, and ultimately, you know, there's a lot for them to be, you know, that on top of that $9,000 in cash and hardware prize pool coming in from our sponsors, there's a lot for them to be competing for. So it's certainly exciting to see when the pressure is on how these teams perform. And obviously also exciting for us because we got a residential caster in the playing field right now. Filibust down there playing hard for Devour Esports. My bias may start to show a little bit. Okay, I'm rooting for Phil. We want to see the caster representation coming through at all times. Okay, not to say that I want to see it. I'd prefer to see, I guess, 3 maps. So in theory, rooting for Static Creed next map. But yeah, I expect this to be a good one. And so far, I suppose it has been a great series back and forth between these two squads. I do wonder if we're going to see some Static Creed subs, because in comparison, when you look at the Devour Esports roster versus the Static Creed roster, this is it for Devour Esports. If one of these 5 doesn't show up, they don't have any subs in the back pocket. Static Creed have a full 8-player roster. You can have up to 8 players on your team, even though only 5 can play at a time. And I always like to look at that and assess, you know, the value of having those additional subs. There's multitudes of it. You know, maybe one sub is particularly good at a certain map that you're going to get played into. Maybe one sub is, maybe one player is really not shooting well and they want to be brought out, and so you bring in another sub. Maybe you run out of battery, technical issues. There's really almost a multitude of reasons that you should have that sub in your roster, and especially when you get into postseason, Gib, when, you know, especially if you go into the Challenger Cup where you could be playing for 5 hours, 6-hour days, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Five maps can take a long time, and it's helpful to have a little bit of extra energy in the back pocket if you need it, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, that's a great point. I was talking to Chosen One just before this match. They were saying, they've got some players, who are pressed for time. They've got other things to do. So, yeah, having those extra players to act as subs really, really can help out your team. It looks like we are going to head into map 2 immediately, which is Factory. And here we go. We see Devour starting off on the attack. Static Creed on defense. Static Creed, they got very, very close there for a little bit in map 1. They took the first 3 rounds over Devour. We're seeing some disconnects from Static Creed, so hopefully they can get their extra 2 players in there. But what do you think we're going to see here, Nightfire?
Yeah, it's momentum right now on the sides of Devour Esports. They really are and have been playing strong so far to come back from that deficit. If anything, they have even more momentum because they've been winning consecutive points to win that first map. And then now coming in here, if they can start things off, especially on offense, strong is going to mean a lot. This pistol round, it's the most even opportunity you'll get between teams. That's what at least some top players have said, that they really like the pistol rounds almost the most out of any rounds that you get to play out over the course of a potential 12-round, 13-round series. But we'll see what we get as the opening breach there on the hatch does kick things off, and the Devour Esports team setting up for a pretty standard play to work their way down into some pretty standard positions. Ultimately, though, it is a tucked-in defense. When Paula outside the doorway waiting for the drop-down, drone work's not going to spot anybody. It's a very passive spot, but that drone will spot Impala out. They will have some information, and ultimately they'll. There's a lot of utility coming out here. Static emitter down there blocking, and some foam coming in. Both teams investing heavily in this pistol round.
Absolutely. We see Gravity on blue stairs, the flank, as Impala finding Cleric over on the other side of the map. Impala was over in orange vendings. 2 minutes left on the clock. Devour have got plenty of time, but Static Creed off to a bit of a better start as they keep all 5 of their members. We see Filibust and Tire Tongue right outside of Site A. Filibust does have that breaching foam, so they're possibly going to 2-prong. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a 2-prong. One through the cubby, the other through the blue vending wall. Static Creed seem to be anticipating this push. There's one wall. They're getting ready. There's the second wall. As it looks like they're going to try and get that EMP planted. They don't have it right now. Chosen One finding the kill on Gravity, who was the flank there. Big man taking out Tire Tongue with a very, very solid frag grenade. 4 versus 3. Devour still 1 member down as Impala finding the kill on Filibust. Chosen One looks to take out Tog and does. Stanky finding the kill on Big Man as it's now just down to Stormtrooper and Impala against Stanky. A 2v1 here. Minute 10 left on the clock.
How did we get down to a 2v1 out of that? I think it was a 2v4 when they were opening up the wall on A site pushing in. So for them to survive the way they did, find the kills, it is impressive. And now Stanky likely hearing these footsteps of Impala. They seem to be kind of alert that there is someone there. The health syringe is up if they do need it. And they do seem to know where Storm is positioned right now in that back corner. So what is the play? I think it's going to get the EMP down, but where's the EMP? They got to find that, scoop it up, and try and plant it, force the defensive rotation out. And I think the EMP is way over here. Yeah, way stuck out. Yep, and they knew it was down. Impala was defending the EMP right by that static emitter, and that's why Impala was just holding that doorway, not worrying about the breach through A.
Yeah, absolutely. A great job on defense there from Static Creed. They were really able to play that site very, very well. And unfortunately, again, for Stanky at the end there, the EMP was probably in one of the worst spots it could be. Right in a doorway with 2 people watching it. So definitely didn't go Devour's way there, which I believe Factory is their second best map, and Factory is the best map for Static Creed. So we see good early momentum from SCD. Hopefully for them, they can keep that extra momentum, into the game a little bit longer than they were able to on Hideout. They found 3 early rounds, but ultimately lost the momentum to Devour. So I wonder if things can be different on this second map.
We'll have to see. 10 seconds left before we do dive into the start of round number 2. And again, it's that defensive advantage you would consider on this map. And so if they can just get and it's eco right now, so that when it comes to this next round 3, we'll be able to buy in and compete there. And interestingly enough, it seems that Static Creed are reading this too, and not often do you see a team that's winning save.
Yeah, it's very, very rare to see a true double eco. Occasionally, most of the time, you'll see those round 2 Vezins, at least from 1 or 2 of the players on the winning team. But all they have on Static Creed right now is an Omen, and the rest are Spectral. So it's a risky play, but one that can have very, very big payoffs if it works out. We see Gravity upstairs finding the kill on Tire Tongue. Will get refragged by Stanky, who's going to recover that Omen. And, it's just, I don't want to say it's just an Omen because I really like the Omen. But it could actually help Devour go quite far because it's that extra fire rate. You get more bullets in that magazine. So yep. Stanky may be able to make that Omen work out well for Devour. We'll see what happens.
They definitely seem to be the point one on the attack here as the nade comes down into the server room. It's a great bounce right onto Stormtrooper, a beautiful toss. Impala will be up next on the hit list, but they'll find their kill. Chosen One goes down as Cleric backs off from the stairs and reconsiders the approach down that stairwell. It's a 3-3.
An amazing frag there into the server room. Very, very solid. Static Creed just got caught out there. It's a difficult frag to make, but one that can have very big payoffs again. We see a 3 versus 3 here with 1:10 left to go on the clock. So Devour have time, but they are starting to run a little bit low on it. They can certainly make a play happen. In the ballistics right now. This is a full send into the control room hatch. They're heading into Site B right now. Tog looking to move through the server room is going to be taken out by Philibus. It's now a 2 versus 3. This isn't going well for Static Creed. He tried to double eco here to get extra money, but they're dropping down into Workshop. Big Man finding the kill on Philibus. And they've completely abandoned the kill box where the EMP is planted. But, it's definitely a calculated risk there as they are trying to find the kill on the player who's going for the defuse. Big Man sticks one charge. Impala finding the kill on Cleric as Stanky finds the kill on Impala. But Big Man will find the kill on Stanky to close things off for this round. A very, very solid comeback from Static Creed. And you have to wonder, was that the right call for Devour? Oh, yeah, there's plenty of time.
Okay. EMP is ticking. They got to get 2 sticks right now. They have to go all the way around. It is...
Big Man. You came so far, Big Man.
One more. Come on.
Wow. 3 seconds on the clock.
A little too close for comfort there, I would say, Gib, but they do take 2 rounds in a row. And if anything, that's a beautiful eco round for Devour in particular, and I suppose a great play from Static Creed because they ecoed there too, so they minimized the damage done. 4 died. You imagine if they had invested a couple of rifles, they would have lost guaranteed at least 1, maybe even 2 rifles there off of that round. So, I guess it could have gone differently too if they had had rifles. Who knows? It may not have been that close, but either way, an interesting bit of economic sort of back and forth that we're into now because both teams have the ability to full buy when maybe they otherwise wouldn't if they had invested. And so, here we go. Round 3, the big one. This is going to decide if Devour Esports can get back into this thing, put their first one, I suppose, on the board, get some momentum going on the offense, and if they do shut down Static Creed's economy is not going to be good. They're running off of win advantage. Obviously, getting those 2 wins, that's a lot of cash in the pocket, but it's not really enough for them to be looking good if they lose here. They maybe will be able to get 2-3 rifles, which is not a competitive buy up against a full Devour Esports squad. So it's a big round right now as we do get into it for round 3.
And here we go, moving into round 3. We've got Devour currently up on the roof. There goes the storage hatch. They're getting ready to push in on site A. It could be that same 2-prong one again from Cubby, the other from the blue vending wall. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. And yeah, both these teams are running on fumes right now. They were able to full buy this round. And this is going to be very important because the team who wins this is going to put the other team on a force eco next round. So we'll see who finds the success here. I imagine whoever gets the early picks is definitely going to take the lead here. We see a static field emitter that's just going to bother Devour Esports if they try and push through that door. Stormtrooper waiting way in the back by that filing cabinet is Impala, picking up a very, very nice kill on Filibust. And just a great tuck over in Orange Venice. Caught Devour Esports off guard. There's the breach into Cubby. It looks like we might get that second wall in just a second here. They're getting ready to foam it. Yeah, there it goes. There's the foam applied by Tire Tongue. Chosen One getting ready to swing the door, looking for Stormtrooper, but Stanky finding the kill on Impala, taking out that Roma. Good flank watch from Stanky as Gravity picking up Tire Tongue. It's now a 4 versus 2 as Gravity finds a second. It's down to Chosen One and Stanky, who's heading back up to the roof. Chosen One getting still in blue hallway, looking for a possible pick here, but you gotta wonder, Nightfire, is it a better play to go for a salvage here since it's a 2 versus 4?
100%. I think you got to eco right now. I do know that, I guess, suppose they did send the one to the roof, not to necessarily eco, but to defend through the hatch. As Chosen One doesn't have EMP. Where is EMP right now? It is down pretty deep. Oh, no, it's actually salvageable. How did that... Oh, it's an unfortunate death over in the corner. Gravity is watching on the back flank, though, so they have to pick Gravity off, which is doable. It's a solo defending back on the stairs. Get the EMP, and then you're into a 3v2, which is doable. You have A site open. They could easily push in, plant on the inside of A, but time is ticking. 30 seconds left on the clock, so that's really not an option right now.
What is the play going to be here from Devour Esports? 2 versus 4. 15 seconds left on the clock. It's definitely going to be that eco as Stanky, Chosen One just moving back up to the roof. And yeah, that's probably the smartest thing they could do this round. So they'll be able to keep 2 Vezins, which they're going to look to do some damage with on the next round. But Static Creed going to pick up this round win to move us into round 4 with Static Creed once again on a 3-round winning streak.
Definitely pretty solid. If there was ever anyone to kill, though, it actually was Impala, the one person they killed, because Impala had saved last round. So now they get money and they buy in, and essentially everyone's even on Static Creed. They're good for 2 rounds, but if there's damage that can be done here, if they can chip away at that economy a little bit, then maybe there's a chance for Devour to be looking better in rounds 5 and 6, the deeper rounds. It's all about, again, really just damaging the economy on these eco rounds, which is what we're going to be getting into here for Devour Esports. They're saving their 2 rifles, but look, everyone else not even able to buy in to a rifle. So everyone's those 2 rifles are really meant as sort of hero plays to ideally catch a aggressive Static Creed defender out, scoop up one of their rifles, try and turn the tides, get some more weapons into your team's hands. It's a hard objective to accomplish, but it certainly is achievable. We see teams clutch up these big rounds on eco rounds sometimes, even at the high level. So it's certainly a solid back and forth that we are into this afternoon.
And here we go with Devour moving into orange storage. Now, this was the farthest that Static Creed could make it before they started losing rounds to Devour in the first map. We'll see if they can find the momentum that they needed in this second map. There's the frag tossed into site B. That's going to take out that door blocker on assembly, tossing another very solid frag into the center. Chosen One finding the kill on Impala's Gravity, taking out Filibust. Drone moving into site B at the moment, receiving. Stormtrooper will take that out, however, as Devour getting ready to push both the wall and the door there. See, 2 minutes on the clock. Gravity upstairs on the flank. Found a lot of success in the previous round, picking up 2 Devour players. As we see a 4 versus 4. It could go either way at this point. Devour had to eco last round, had to go for the salvage. Excuse me. So 2 Vezins up against the 5 of Static Creed. Big Man finding the kill on Cleric as it's now just down to Stanky, Tire Tongue, and Chosen One. Gravity still just in the top of Upper Orange. It's Chosen One, as well as the rest of the Devour players over in Orange Storage. Minute 20 now. They're starting to run out of time on Devour, and they're pretty pressed in this one room right now. I wonder if the play here is to just kind of, exit out of the site and try a different angle.
I think it's to get rid of the static emitter right there on the corner. It's very doable. Chosen One just has to shoot it, but I don't think they know that's where the static emitter is originating from. I'm not sure why they haven't invested in getting rid of that to open up that doorway a little bit more. It does seem like they're going to not choose going in through that main floor and instead going to go for the pick. They can get rid of Gravity. It's the rifle into the hands of Stanky or a death. Gravity catches two, and it's a rifle gone now out of the hands of the Devour Esports squad. They are getting hurt hard here in this partial buy for them, although mostly just an eco round as everyone really didn't invest. They just took 2 rifles with them. So, again, solid back and forth, but ultimately Static Creed holding things down with their rifle advantage, and I imagine we'll see Tire Tongue taking this rifle with them to the next round. I do think on your 4th consecutive loss, there's enough cash flow coming in for everyone to afford a full buy, but always smart to save a little bit. And I suppose, again, if you're to do damage to anybody, it would be Impala, whose economy goes down even more. Everyone else saves their rifles through. They'll get the big round win cash. Ultimately, Static Creed will be good for rounds 5 and 6, and so it's going to be full buys across the board for, I think, rounds 5 and 6, especially if Devour lose here. You're going to get that 5th consecutive loss cash coming through. So it is 2 rounds of full buys and 2 rounds that Devour Esports want to get on the board on their offensive rotation. If they can put 2 up here, it puts them in a decent position to battle back, bounce back, take a quick 2 pistol rounds, and ultimately tie things up 4-4 right there. If they can take 2 pistol rounds, they're tied up 4-4 going into the defensive set, and it's their chance of potentially taking the series. And so these, again, big rounds. These full buy rounds, very important, obviously, and Devour Esports really wants 2. 1 is okay, 0 is the worst case scenario, because then their backs are against the wall on the pistol round, which again is when everything is even Steven, and kind of rolling the dice. It's almost like 50-50 with how these teams have been battling it out so far today.
Absolutely. If I got to highlight a player that's been doing an incredible job, Gravity, on the flank there has, for the second time, just done a ton of damage to the Devour push, just upstairs and taking out several of those Devour players. So we'll see if Gravity can do more damage to Devour. You have to imagine is starting to get a little bit more wary, being a little more thorough with checking out their rooms. Their Tog is tossing a frag, able to recover that. As we see Devour getting ready to push through lockers. There's the frag from Tog. That's not going to find anybody. Filibust getting ready to move in. On the move into lockers, an incendiary toss to smoke toss. Plenty of grenades coming from Static Creed. You have to wonder, maybe they're burning those a little bit too early. Cleric is going to move in as Big Man tossing another incendiary in, but that got caught. Oh no, that's muffled in the smoke for whatever reason. Tire Tongue picking up a very, very nice kill on Gravity, shutting down the roam as Impala finds the kill on Stanky, will be refragged by Chosen One. It's now a 3 versus 4. Tire Tongue just contesting as Big Man finding the kill on Tire Tongue, will be refragged by Filibust. There's the breaching foam on the site B wall. Tog over in Generator right now, 2 versus 3. This is doable from both teams, but Static Creed definitely have their work cut out for them. They've got to deal with an entire other player because it's a 2v3. They're down in the numbers. We'll see what happens here. Minute and a half on the clock. Devour over in lockers. They were tagged a little bit, but it looks like they're starting to get their heels up.
Tog is in an incredibly defensive position here. They've got a door blocker. They're looking out, they're not hacking or looking through the wall. It's just a pinpoint position. They know if they shoot through the wall, they'll get a certain angle just down through that doorway. And ultimately, they're kind of relying on audio cues, guesswork in some cases, timing, in a lot of cases, and for now at least, Chosen One Filibus, they've made their way silently in through this potential wall bang. As I say that, Filibus vulnerable to that, Tog finds nothing. The EMP plant comes down and Tog goes down as they peek out. A trade on objective that leads to a big round getting locked in by Devour Esports. A plant to get them extra cash and a round win. The first of this first half, and go to the last round of the first half now. Again, basically equal economies across the board, taking a round loss. With 4 consecutive wins, they've got plenty in the bank, and so we're going to see both teams again full buying for our final round 6. And what an exciting last couple of rounds here to end up with for our map number 2. If you are just tuning in, map 1 went the way of Devour Esports 4-7. A competitive battle by Static Creed, but ultimately almost 7 consecutive points getting brought in there. I suppose Static Creed broke it up there with a 4th, but still an impressive performance from Devour on the comeback. So we got to keep that in mind right now as we do see Devour take their first round in what could be the comeback. They take their second on offense, they take 2 with the pistol rounds on the reset. There really is a chance for them to quickly tie this up 4-4.
Absolutely. As we move into this halftime round, remember things are just going to get reset as the teams will switch sides next round. We see Chosen One outside of Upper Orange Storage at the moment. Devour getting ready for that push. It looks like it's going to be just on the orange side of the map. We could see that breach through Upper Orange onto Site A. They'll blow that wall over there. It could be that push, but they've got a pretty loose formation over on Devour, so it could be multiple different plays at the moment. We'll see exactly what the plan is here on Devour. Chosen One just on the wall over there waiting for the signal. One of their players, yeah, Stanky is droning out for the team. Here comes Cleric into Orange Vendings. Gravity up in the Ballistics Lab. Can't remember the exact name of this site, as we see Cleric now moving in, may catch Gravity here. Impala finding the kill on Filibus as Gravity just tucking in the cubby. Does get droned out as Cleric looks to find the kill, but Gravity might frag themselves. They will. Not good for Static Creed, but Gravity was able to find another kill there, so it's a 4 versus 3. So a little bit better for Static Creed there, but a bit of panic from Gravity. They weren't able to recover that frag grenade. Minute and a half left on the clock as Devour getting ready to push. It looks like it's going to be the control room hatch, possibly. No, they're splitting up again.
I mean, this is interesting to see the RCP getting utilized from the Static Creed team. They had so much extra cash that they bought another rifle, and they're just using that for guesswork, through shooting shots through the wall, hoping they connect and get information. They can then pull their rifles out and ideally do some more damage through that wall. So an interesting bit of recon and defensive utility use that you don't see a lot of, but good use of that full bit of cash before we get into that economy reset, like you said. So kind of a creative way, I suppose, of spending the money to ultimately maybe buy them a couple of seconds and deter Devour from pushing this. Eventually, Tire Tongue has made their way up here and could be challenging Big Man and Tog soon.
Here comes Devour moving into the museum. Yeah, they're not pushing control room. They're going over to Site B, which this could be a good plan, but it could definitely be very rough as they were expecting this kind of push over on Static Creed. It's a two-prong, one from Killbox, the other from Conference. Tog will find that frag on Tire Tongue, Chosen One over in Conference right now. As it's a 1 versus 3, this push has not gone Devour's way. Stanky picking up the kill on Big Man as Tog finding the refrag on Stanky. Tog with the double on Chosen to close this round out for Static Creed, and they move into the second half with a 5-1 lead. Now, Devour can technically still win, but they're going to need to come back, 6 straight rounds. So while it's possible, it's definitely going to be tough for them.
Yeah, it is the long road. They've managed to at least give themselves the chance with that 1 point they put on the board. And so the comeback is, it starts here with with the pistol round, obviously, but yeah, it's a long road. It is all 6 rounds in their pocket for them to take this series. They still could tie, which would still push us to a map 3 decider, but you know, at this stage, Static Creed really does have a lot of good momentum. To shut down the offense on that last round was big. If they had managed to put 2 points in their pocket, I think it would have been very bad news for this Static Creed squad. But they do have, you know, really the choice of like I'm talking about with how, you know, Devour can get back into this. They can win this map right here by taking these 2 pistol rounds. They take this pistol round, they buy into rifles, they have a rifle advantage next round. There's a lot to potentially get them a big 2-round win here, and so that gets them the map. That puts us to a map 3 decider. Phil is going to kick things off with a kill, though, and that's going to be Devour Esports starting things off with a nice 5-4.
So what was really interesting is that on the first map, Static Creed found a lot of early momentum on offense, but when Devour moved over to the offense, they picked up the pace there. Gravity finding a kill on Stanky as Tog takes out Chosen One. What I meant to say is Devour found a lot of momentum when they switched to offense. So I wonder if it's kind of a vice versa situation where they're better on factory defense. Now, it's still going to be tough as they're a player down. The EMP's been planted, so really Static Creed, they can just watch that EMP from the safety of the hatch. They just have to wait for a player to start defusing it. And once they hear that sound cue, they're going to send somebody to peek. Now, Tire Tongue might try and get that EMP stuck as Claire finding Big Man. Philibus taking out Stormtrooper, and a great defense from Static Creed, but Tog fighting Tire Tongue, and Gravity dropping the final 2 for Static Creed to move on to match point. And it was a good defense from Devour, but it didn't quite work out in their favor in the end there.
A fight and a big round from Static Creed. Now, again, like I said, here comes the rifle buys. You'd be foolish, I suppose, not to do it, but if anything, Static Creed has shown they're conservative even when they do win. We do see 1 rifle. We're going to see more than that. I'd be surprised, honestly, if we did see more, because they don't have to. They can afford to buy utility, you know, go with that one sort of lead shooter, and make sure they don't overinvest, because they know they're going up against pistols. And like you said, they do not want to let this Devour Esports squad regain any momentum, and they can do that by shutting them down on the next round after this if they lose, by still having an economy to work with. So it's a conservative choice. There's 2 rifles coming in as Gravity says, yeah, I'm going to buy 1 too. And they could have gone with more. They could have gone with maybe 3, even 4 rifles, but again, there's a little bit of saving going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. There's a certain extent you don't want to spend too much money and then lose the round, and then you're really stuck. But we see Tire Tongue finding the kill on Stormtrooper, a very, very nice tuck there. Tog will secure a refrag as Philibus finding the kill on Gravity. Tog picks up a second on Cleric because it's a 3 versus 3, and just like that, Devour have evened the odds. Well, they do still have a Vezin up on Static Creed, but in terms of players up, Devour have done an excellent job of picking off 2 Static Creed players. So maybe it was smarter for them to double eco, but if you do double eco and you don't close things off on this round, you run the risk of Devour gaining those Vezins and then the money to fight back and gain that momentum that they desperately need right now. Filibust right outside of Janitor looks to move in, finding the kill on Impala, and it's now a 2 versus 3. Now the Vezin player, Tog, is still up for Static Creed, so it's certainly possible. It's a Vezin and an Omen against 3 Spectrals, so definitely possible for Static Creed. They are a player down, though. We'll see what happens. They're moving into orange vendings right now down the orange stairs.
Oh, and Stanky is right there on the corner, ready and waiting for the duo. Pistol in hand, though, going up against Omen, and Vest in the swing, and it's a connection from Big Man on the headshot. Nice there with that Omen in the hand. They certainly would have traded a 1-for-1 there, I imagine, and ultimately it is now 2 versus 2. The site getting pushed down towards B, Chosen One and Filibust with pistols in hand, going up against a bit more kitted out Static Creed squad, and I imagine that Static Creed will eventually be pushing in, but it seems like there's a lot of rotating going on. They're really trying to throw off this Devour Esports team. There's a breach right dead onto A. Is there an EMP in hand? Yes, there is. As Big Man's going to get the plant. They lose The Vets and Chosen One pushes in. They go down to the Omen shots. Filibust here on the backside, swinging around here, and the EMP getting stuck again. Filibust going to try and push Pistol out. Big Man's trying to stick the EMP plant. That could be their demise, and it is. It's a round in the hands of Devour Esports.
Well, that was certainly a nail-biter. It came down to Filibust at the end there. Big Man, you know, again, in that kind of situation, you got to make a call. Do you try and stick the EMP, or do you try and go for the kill? Big Man chose the EMP, and unfortunately for Static Creed, it wasn't the right call. But, you know, respect to Big Man for making a choice there and sticking with it. We did see White Tigs earlier just kind of got caught up a little bit in the moment and was unable to secure the round against Devour Esports. So, yeah, I mean, they made a call, didn't work out, but that is going to give Devour those Vezins that they need to bring this game back. So they have to win 4 rounds to tie it up. They can no longer win. But Static Creed, unfortunately for them, are going to have to eco a little bit here. They are picking up 3 Vezins, but both Tog and Stormtrooper picking up Spectrals instead. So in terms of weapons, they're definitely going to be a little bit weaker than Devour on this round.
Their decision, I suppose, buy in, take that risk, does fight them back, and maybe they're thankful they didn't pick up 3 rifles like I was suggesting, because that would have done even more damage to their economy than it is right now. But yeah, it's a partial buy, 3 rifles against the fully kitted out Devour Esports team. They're spending everything every round because there's no looking back. They can't afford a loss. They have to invest every bit of cash, otherwise it is the map, and we're on to map 3.
There's the breach onto the kitchen hatch as Tire Tongue finding Impala. 4 versus 5. Devour certainly finding a little bit of momentum here as they start off this round. This Big Man dropping Stanky, finding the kill on Big Man. Gravity taking out Stormtrooper. It's a friendly fire frag. Say that 5 times fast. Gravity taking out Chosen One as the EMP was not quite planted there. Filibust checking the hatch, finding the kill on Gravity, walking into Tog, however, and Tog will secure that Vezin. Is now in the battle with Stanky, but Stanky with a very, very nice swing on Tog to give Devour their 3rd round. And this is starting to look a little bit iffy for Static Creed because they're trying to get that money together. Yeah, and they aren't able to afford a full 5 stack of Vezins. So they're going to keep up with this pattern of 3 Vezins and 2 ecoing players, and then 2 ecoing players and 3 Vezins. And they're going to try this until they can find, you know, any kind of momentum. So we'll see if it works out for them or not.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be. They're really in a bad snowball right now, a avalanche, if you will, as they are losing control of the situation and multiple rounds getting put into the books. Like you said, Devour able to bounce back here. And ultimately, if Devour Esports can tie up this map, it takes a lot of pressure off of them as a team. They're going to be looking at a guaranteed tie or a win. And so, you know, at the worst case, you know, they cannot lose. You know, and in this case, you know, as the best case, Static Creed, if they tie, they actually lose the opportunity to win, because then if they do win map 3, they still only tie the series. So, you know, there is still a good bit on the line. You don't want this map to end 6-6 if you're Static Creed. It's not an ideal situation. It is actually better for the Devour Esports squad to take this the distance, push this to all 12 rounds. And right now, again, they have rifle advantage. Just 2 rifles and an open going up against a fully kitted defense with utility on the field.
And Stanky upstairs in upper orange storage could find a kill on, you know, an outside player. Chosen One finding the kill on Stormtrooper, however. Rotating back into the site, Devour definitely not out of this yet. They certainly have the capacity to bring it back 3 rounds and then secure the draw. Gravity, meanwhile, on the flank, looks to find the kill and does take out Chosen One with that Omen. Don't count Static Creed out as Impala finds the kill on Stanky. It's now a 3 versus 4. They're going for that EMP plan as Tog finding the kill on Cleric. Filibust taking out Big Man as Tire Tongue finding the kill on Gravity. It's now a 2 versus 2. Filibust taking out Tog. It's now a 1 versus 2. They weren't able to get that. Oh, they were able to get the EMP planted. Impala finding Filibus, but will be refragged by Tire Tongue, and Devour are going to pick up their 4th round. It's looking better and better all the time for Devour. Is they're again going to get that extra eco there, and they're going to put Static Creed in a difficult position once again.
There's not a big win, actually loss bonus coming into Static Creed, which does kind of hurt them in this economic stage right now, because technically that's their 3rd round loss, because they won the pistol round and pushed it to 6-1, and now it's been 3 rounds in a row. And so we're into the last 2 rounds, and there's an advantage here into the hands of Devour Esports with all of these wins coming through. They have a little bit of economic safety. They can't afford to lose, obviously, so that safety doesn't matter much, and it's why you're seeing big investments. They're spending all of their money every round, like I said, and it's making it hard for Static Creed to break through. These last 2 rounds, though, are going to be Static Creed's opportunity. Maybe even really just this round. If they lose here, I don't know that they're going to have enough cash to full buy in to that final round. It'll be close. They'll maybe be able to buy some bear rifles, but it's not going to be a lot of money for them because they have almost spent all of their economy here on this round. This is the big investment for them on this offensive push as we get into round 11.
They got to make it work on Static Creed. They've secured at least a draw, so there will be a guaranteed map 3 like Nightfire wanted to see. But the difference is that if Static Creed tie this, then all Devour would need to do is win or draw the final map. So Static are going for the win to make things a little bit more difficult for Devour in the 3rd map. We'll see just what will happen. There are still 2 rounds left for Static Creed, including this one. Gravity downstairs in assembly right now. Filibust on the roam as Gravity looks to find the kill, but Filibust finds it instead. There's 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock of 4 versus 5. Tog, big man, just watching that storage hatch, which they've just blown up. Stormtrooper right outside of Orange Vendings. Filibust on the stairs there, just waiting for Stormtrooper to push in. 2 minutes on the clock now. Static Creed have plenty of time to execute this push, so they're going to need to be cautious, or, they might just rush in. We'll see what happens. Big man getting that foam on the wall in lockers. Here comes Filibust on the roam, picks up the kill on Tog. Might find a second on Big man, who's looking for that pre-fire there. Filibust looking to rotate his Impala, finding Stanky of 3 versus 4 here. Big man looking for that kill, so Filibust finds another,
Ooh.
And Big man will secure the refrag on Filibust, but not before Phil decimated Static Creed in this round. So Big man, looks like Big man going for that salvage play. And to your point, Nightfire, if they aren't able to source together Vezins, for the final round, this might help them get at least 1 on that final round.
Yeah, you can't carry, you can't carry a rifle on your chest and 2 rifles in your hands and get rifles for all your buds. That's unfortunately not a reality in the game of Breachers. You can only take 1 full rifle through with you and a secondary. And so the best big man can do is get this rifle through with them to that next round, like you said. And maybe do a little bit of extra, a little bit more damage. They're kind of poking and prodding, looking for that option on the backside here.
Absolutely. 30 seconds left on the clock, and Big Man's just slowing the game down, looking for some picks, trying to deny at least a little bit of eco from Devour, who, actually Chosen One and Cleric, we're low on money, as well as Filibust. So if Devour lost this, they would actually be in a pretty difficult position. They wouldn't be able to field, all Vezins next round, but we'll see what happens. We've got to disconnect from Static Creed. Truce neutral will reconnect there. It's now a 6-5 game. Static Creed in the lead, but Devour only 1 round off of tying them, and at the moment, I'd say they've got a bit more of an advantage over Static Creed.
It is going to be enough for a few rifles. 3 it looks like, and then some orals, partial buys, an omen, maybe a shoddy coming in on the Static Creed side, but full kits for Devour Esports, one away from tying this up and guaranteeing a tie or win scenario in map 3. So a big round for this Devour Esports squad. Likely out to the other side, also a big round for Static Creed. They can get this one, they win, and then they have the chance of locking in a Series W in round 3. And it looks like Phil's getting some kind of comm from Tired Tongue. Tire's pointing to his ears, maybe indicating that they hear Phil, but does it really matter? Phil's got 15 kills in their pocket, 9 deaths. They are doing a lot of work themselves. Just let Phil go. He's representing the casting team fantastically, okay? And it's really just a matter of trusting in Phil, as Tired Tongue and Chosen want to be able to book each other, but Phil having an issue apparently. But again, utility down, and well, let's see if Phil can pile on to that 15 kills, get 5 more and push it to 20.
You know, Static Creed, we'll see what they do on this particular push, but I think maybe they might want to utilize their time a little bit better here. They're huddling up. I think if they slow down the push here, try playing for some picks, you know, that you could really go 2 ways with this. You could slow it down, you could push for picks, or you could full send it into the site and just completely rush Devour and see if you're fast enough to throw them off. I'm not sure. I mean, right now they are using some valuable time. They would really like to win this game here, but this could hurt them. I mean, if they might be trying to full send it and just kind of wait out Devour to make them rotate positions a little bit. Looks like they're on the move right now. This could be a double-edged sword because you run the risk, you know, even if you're moving fast, you run the risk of, you know, time expiring on you because you weren't moving immediately. So we'll see if it works out for Static Creed. They're currently over by the orange half of the map, moving in. And if they try this kind of push here where they drone out first, I think they're gonna run out of time. There's only a minute and a half left on the clock, so they're gonna have to make a move here pretty soon. Tired Tongue over in Site B. Now the rest of Devour has rotated over towards Site B. Chosen One, making their way back, but Static Creed are still not in the site, tossing the breaching foam over as it looks like it might be that push into upper orange, but there's only about a minute left on the clock. They're taking a very long time to execute this push on Static Creed, and it looks like Devour know what the plan is. There's the minute marker on the clock as we see a frag tossed by Devour. All they need to do is play the wall and then the door to just keep Static Creed out as long as they possibly can. A frag is tossed in. There goes the breach on the wall. Here comes the smoke. It's the push from Static Creed, but they aren't able to get in just yet. Tog gets that EMP planted. Gravity will find the kill on Cleric. Gets refragged by Philibus. Tired Tongue picking up the kill on Impala. Tog finding Tired Tongue. It's now a 3 versus 3. This could be what Static Creed needed. We do see Stanky upstairs. They could go for that EMP because they don't have somebody watching that right now. Truce neutral picking up the kill on Stanky as Big Man and Truist. I didn't see Big Man up there. This could be what Static Creed needed. Chosen One still in that breach. There's Devour. Have to deal with the remaining 3 players and defuse the EMP, and they have to do it in 30 seconds. Philibus finding 1, finding 2, as it's now just down to Chosen One who goes for the defuse. Tog! Philibus finding the 3rd as Devour Esports will secure the defuse, and they will tie this game up. And really, that's the best case scenario for Devour Esports because moving into the 3rd round, all they have to do is win or tie.
Phil had I said 20. He had 4 of 5 kills that round. 19 kills on the end of that map. A massive clutch from the resident caster. And let's bathe in this glory give as he represents the casting team with so much success in this second map. Granted, of course, it's 6-6, so Devour Esports doing a great job on their defensive set, and then those quick 2 rounds to push it 6-1 right away. It's still, though, tough, because like we said, Devour now can only tie as the best case scenario for them, which would minimize damage done to their overall record. They are the team that I believe is higher in rating, or are they the...
Yeah, Devour is number 13 and Static is number 16.
So Static's actually lower in rating. So this would be worse if Devour were to lose. A tie wouldn't be ideal either for Devour Esports. You know, they do not want to go down in ranking right now. They don't want to get any negative points as they're ranked 13th, right on the cusp of pushing up into that top 7, avoiding the Challenger Cup. Ooh, it's exciting times in this series. What a crazy map, too. I mean, Phil's got to take the headset off. These guys got to take a break. They're going to bring in well, they don't have any subs on Devour Esports, so people are just logging out, resetting likely, and we should be getting into map 3 soon. But let's take a breath here on the desk and shout out our sponsors, I say, Gib, as we do get ready for map 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Big thanks to all of our sponsors here at the VRML, starting off with Triangle Factory, the developers of Breachers. They're providing the VRML with a nice contribution to the cash prize pool, now over $9,000 in cash and hardware. They're also supplying the VRML with 2 gun skins, one that you can purchase for credits when it comes out, and the second will be awarded to the top 8 teams in each region, the 8th team being determined by the Challenger Cup. Now, Exclaim, the official merch store for the VRML. If you're interested in an exclusive store-wide discount while supporting the league, consider affiliating with the VRML via Exclaim. I saw a GIF in the general chat of the league of some teams' merch, and they make some really cool stuff.
Formula 3 just came out with their store. Well, not just, but they have their own store that they shouted out on their recent interview. If you haven't checked out that interview, it's on the YouTube channel. Do please like and subscribe to the video and the YouTube. We're putting out content like that all the time. You can keep your eyes peeled for maybe a holiday podcast special. You know, who knows? We'll be able to bring in when we have a bit of an off couple of weeks in the holidays, and so we're still gonna be putting out content on the YouTube even when we have the break weeks coming up. But yeah, it's really cool to see teams getting their stores up on Exclaim.
Absolutely, and a big thanks as well to ProTube VR for providing the best VR rifle mounts and accessories. You can help stabilize your aim in-game by picking up a mag tube stock. Or if you want to add to the immersion, you can check out the Force Tube with haptic feedback to enhance any virtual shooting experience. With a variety of other products ranging from Beat Saber to joystick mounts, ProTube VR is your one-stop shop for controller peripherals. Next up, HyperX. You can get 15% off MRSP off of fully priced HyperX products in North America using code HXVRML23. HyperX also supports the VRML with the high-quality HyperX Quadcast S. That's what you use, correct, Nightfire?
Sorry, I was looking back at the replay of the Filibus Klutz. I lost where we were here, Gib. Who are we shouting out? Are we looking forward to round 4 yet?
HyperX.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're hearing me on the Procast, and I use the Cloud 2s. I have the keyboard. I got all of the peripherals. I do love me some HyperX products, and we always do appreciate them contributing hardware to our North American prize pool. It's really great to see, and they're one of the longest sponsors for VRML, so we really do appreciate the support.
Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot there. Next up, Helga, the manager.
I got distracted. That's fine.
Helga, the manager bot. Are you tired of juggling schedules, stats, and communication for your esports team? Say hello to Helga, the esports team management bot. Helga helps with availability, scheduling, communication with opponents, and statistical analysis. To get started, join their Discord linked in the chat or on the VRML Breachers/Onward website. And finally, VR Cover, which offers high-quality hygiene and comfort solutions for popular headsets. VR Cover's face cushions greatly enhance the comfort of any VR device, allowing you to play in VR comfortably for longer. Use code VRCoverQ3 for a discount on Quest 3 products. Big thanks to all of our sponsors once again, as we are on a bit of a timeout, waiting for Devour Esports to pick up a league sub. It looks like Stanky won't quite be able to finish the game for Devour Esports tonight, so we'll see who they get for the league sub. I mean, this could potentially impact the third and final map, which looks like it is going to be Skyscraper.
Yeah, that's well, I mean, hey, gosh, if I couldn't have cursed it anymore. Talking about the rosters, Now you need to have more than 5, and the value of having those 6, 7, 8 on your team, it's hard to recruit for, obviously, but you can rotate players in. You know, it's not hard to maintain an 8-player roster. Well, I suppose who am I to talk? You know, it's obviously challenging to maintain any roster, and hats off to any captain that can manage to herd the cats, so to speak. But it's a that's going to be tough. Who will they be able to find? Will they be able to find someone? Because ultimately they could be going into a 4v5. Although we are waiting for a 5th from Static Creed, they could just be charging during this break time instead of waiting in the lobby. And so, well, I don't know. We'll have to wait around. I'm guessing we're into a 10-minute timeout, so maybe we could go to a brief break, give us a rest. But either way, it's going to be a few more minutes until we do get into this 3rd map.
Yeah, we'll be right back on the VRML while we wait for these teams to pick up their final sub, and we will see you then.
Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Breachers VRML Map 3, which is going to be Skyscraper, and a bit of a update on Devour Esports. They were unable to secure a 5th player, a league substitute, so they're going to be going into this 4 versus 5, and I'm a bit concerned for how this game is going to go, Nightfire, because we've had rounds, and these rounds have gotten down to 1 or 2 players. So if they've got a bot, that could be very bad for Devour. We'll see. They've secured the win on map 1, the draw on map 2, so they need to win or tie this. They are going to be a player down though, so what's going to happen here?
It is at least the defensive side for the Devour Esports squad. So if you were to have a bot, you'd want it on defense. It actually can get a kill or two. on defense. When it's on
Yeah.
offense, it pretty much just sends itself right up the middle, and there's not really a ton of hope for it to find any kills. But you can have an okay bot on defense, so it's not the worst case for them to be starting on the defensive side. But yeah, not ideal to be running without a fifth. And again, a lesson maybe learned, but a lesson learned too late, because we're into it's week 12, so I think the rosters are locked. I don't think you can bring any more people into your team before the end of the season.
Yeah, Monday of next week, week 13, the final week of the regular season, is the roster lock. So if Devour wants to field a sixth player or more, they're running out of time. Tire Tongue picking up the kill on Impala, starting things off in favor of Devour Esports. Again, that bot, Don, is just going to sit in the back there. So, to your point, a defensive bot is probably better than the offensive bot. So just run in, truce neutral, looking for the kill, and does secure the kill on Cleric. Filibust, Devour Esports.
Looks like they've got Peppa Pig to sub in. I don't know that. I don't know. Who knows what the where Peppa Pig is on the roster. I thought you could only. I don't know how subbing works either. Maybe you can sub in if you're on another team. But I thought if you're on a team you can't sub for another team. I have no idea, to be honest with you. And maybe Peppa Pig's just rocking the F3 clan tech because they enjoy the F3 team. But it is a fifth in now, so they don't have a bot. They're up 5-5 and. Very curious to see how this unfolds with ultimately a very big clutch from a triple from Phil and Chosen One on the back end picking up those final kills.
Yeah, Peppa Pig is a former F3 player.
Okay.
So no problem there. We'll see what happens with Devour on this round. They've picked up that fifth, which you can rely on an extra person a little more than a bot. There, you're really just praying
a former
for luck
F3
there.
player too. I mean, that's a skilled player. They Peppa Pig's not going to be a slouch here this afternoon. They're going to be a nice addition, if anything, to this Devour Esports defense. And so Static Creed had an advantage in round one, but I feel like that's kind of gone here in round two.
Absolutely. As we see Devour stacking up in lobby, they're getting ready to push over onto offices. We see is that Tire Tongue is way far away from the push, all the way upstairs. Filibust finding the kill on Tog. As Tire Tongue might be kind of the sleeper roamer here. Might pick up a kill towards the later end of the game, just kind of watching for somebody upstairs. Might throw someone off, but. Wow, really far away from the site. We'll see what comes of that. 2 minutes on the clock as Gravity truest neutral. Moving over to offices. There's the frag tossed in. That's going to almost take out Chosen One. He's looking for that push, looking for that pick, moving up to the wall. We see a 4 versus 5.
A breach coming in the backside. That's quickly denied by Peppa Pig. They shut that window entry down. There's a kill from Chosen One. Filibust scoops up a headshot of their own, and we trade a few bits of back and forth before a double's locked in, and Phil goes 6-1 in the first 2 rounds of the first half of our final map here this afternoon. And if, again, the Devour Esports squad can lock in a map win, they'll take the Series W and get ever closer to that top 7 position by the end of the season. The coveted, so coveted spot where they'll guarantee themselves a skin. Otherwise, again, there's going to be that Challenger Cup where people are going to be going crazy competing for that 8th spot. So it's, it's certainly time to perform if there ever was. And Phil definitely doing well to get the team the tie in that final couple of rounds in map 2, and now performing well to kick things off for their team in map 3. So hats off to them again. It's a team effort, however, though, and of course the Devour Esports squad doing well. Chosen One picking up 2 kills there. The sub scooping up 1. Peppa Pig on the board. Tire Tongue as well. In comparison, Static Creed have found a few kills, so it's a little bit of cash into their pocket, but ultimately just enough to get them 2 rifles in this 3rd round and no more. And
we'll see what happens on round 3 if Devour can pick up a hat trick of wins. You know, ideally for them, they'd like to pick up as many in this first half, this defensive half, as they possibly can. So that way, when they get to offense, their job is considerably easier. We'll see how strong Static Creed are on the defense when they go to that half. But right now, Impala's starting off by moving down to the south stairs. Gravity over by lobby as Cleric and Peppa Pig over in lobby lounge. The sites are management and conference, as we see. Ooh, look at this big man right outside of lobby lounge here. Getting ready to pop open that window. May catch Chosen One off guard. Now Chosen One's going to rotate back over into that hallway. Here comes Big Man, as well as the rest. No way! What a great double frag from Cleric, who went bowling and got a strike as Philip has taken out Gravity. Impala will secure that refrag. It's now a 4 versus 2, down to Big Man and Impala against the remaining 4 Devour Esports players. Impala just towards the back of lobby, and this was that Vezem round from Static Creed, so this hasn't gone well for them at all, considering that they were only able to take out 1 Devour player. Oh, a second Devour player.
Maybe make it 3. Peppa's there on the corner, maybe a little bit too aggressive. That was a big right hook delivered by the defense of Devour Esports, but still, it's not too out of reach for Static Creed. Big Man and Impala are full health. They've got rifles each now as Big Man scoops up one off of the floor, as they should. And so really it's a 2v3 with evenly matched kits going up against each other. And A-Site certainly defended well, as Peppa really did shut down the push. They still have a door blocker there also that Peppa can work with. And so it is definitely looking nice for the Devour Esports squad. Rotation over to B, the proper call, but not exactly easy to do as time ticks down. Only 40 seconds left.
Impala over in lobby lounge at the moment. As again, half a minute here. It's starting to Static Creed's starting to run out of time. We see a hatch play by Big Man. Peppa Pig will be tagged by that frag from Impala, tossing out an incendiary. And really, Devour Esports, they're just trying to bide their time, extend this round as much as possible. The longer they can prevent Static Creed from getting that EMP planted, the higher their chances of winning. And they've denied that opportunity for Static Creed to plant the EMP. They're going to pick up their 3rd round in a row. But Static Creed do salvage 2 Vezens for the next round. So makes their job a little bit easier, but still going to be difficult for Static Creed here.
A nice, that was an eco round. They only bought 2 Vezens, 3 pistols. Ultimately, they get 2 kills. They come out with their investment, so not a bad loss in the end of the day for Static Creed. They're in a position where they can full buy here and have a little bit of cash in the pocket for next round if they do lose. If anything, they'll have, I think, plenty of cash in the pocket next round to buy at least 4 Vezens. So it's not too bad for Static Creed right now. And like we saw in that last round on Skyscraper, if Static Creed can get 1 or 2 rounds here, it does mean that they can put on a clean defensive set themselves and still potentially get this map, which they do need to get to push this to a tie for this series. If they lose here, it will be Devour Esports taking the series win in 3 maps. They'll likely go up at least a rank or 2 and climb ever closer into that top 8, top 7 position.
Yeah, we see Truist neutral Gravity in the courtyard at the moment. It's imperative for Static Creed that they pick up at least a round here. If they don't get a round on Devour Esports in this first half, they are going to lose. Because remember, Devour Esports won the first map. They tied the second. Chosen One starting things off with a very nice kill on Big Man. So Devour Esports definitely in a pretty good position right now, but Gravity will find the kill on Filibust. We see Cleric over in bathroom just tucking by those stalls. waiting for Static Creed to make their move. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left on the clock. Gravity over in the bathroom's hallway, tossing a frag over the partition, just looking for Devour Esports. But Cleric finding the kill on Impala, picking up a second on Truce Neutral before rotating back into the site. Now Devour, they know they don't have to push up, they don't have to get too crazy. They'll let Peppa Pig do their job, which is on that roam. Tog looking for Peppa Pig, but was unable to find it. Now just over in Courtyard, and oh man, you know, it's one of these moments for Tog where it might be a case of, you know, the moment you look away, the player that you're expecting to be there shows up. Gravity is over in bathrooms at the moment. Peppa Pig finding the kill on Tog, exactly like how I predicted it would go. As we see Gravity, just the last remaining Static Creed player. Peppa Pig will swing, finds the kill on Gravity, and round 4 will go to Devour Esports. And Static Creed starting to run out of chances. They still have, you know, a couple of rounds before they're in a pretty dangerous position, but they need to pick up a round, and they need to do it soon.
Wow, a big 4-0 lead right now for this Devour Esports team, and yeah, they do need to get on the board on the Static Creed side. They will be able to at least get a couple of rifles, maybe 4 if they wanted Tog to go all the way in on a rifle there and then spend some money putting some attachments on it, but that may be a bit too big of an economic investment coming in, and it may just be that Static Creed are really looking for at least 1 round on the board, you know, to make it so that they at least have an economy going into that last round. I do think they would have an economy regardless if Tog invested or not, so I do think that they should buy something. As we see them playing around with what they should pick up, they do go with a Cadillo, and not a bad choice. You know, we've heard teams at the top tier talk about the Cadillo being a relatively effective tool, you know, especially if you're a good shooter. That's a one-tap to the head.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, if you can hit your headshots, it's a very, very solid gun here. We see Peppa Pig over in the conference hallway. I think this is showing that Static Creed are really putting all or nothing into this. They're going for the drop into the hatches. Tire Tongue finding the kill on Tog. Tire Tongue looking for a second, but will go down to Gravity. Chosen One on the flank, finding 2. They weren't watching the flank, and that's really hurting Static Creed. A frag tossed in as they're just trapped in their Truce Neutral. Finds a kill on Chosen One as Cleric takes out Big Man. Cleric dropping 2 as Devour Esports will pick up this 5th round. Not good for Static Creed. They'll be able to pick up 3 Vezins, but overall, this could be very, very dangerous for this team. They need to win every single round for 7 rounds in order to tie this matchup. They can't win it anymore, but they need to. If they lose just 1 more round to Devour and they get locked out in the first half, it'll be completely over for Static Creed.
Yeah. Even if they tie the second map, but yeah, it is a win for Devour Esports. So this is a big round. This is a must-win round for Static Creed. It's maybe why we saw some debate with Tog on if he should save or not, because they did need money for this final round at all costs. And, well, they do have money, enough to buy 4 Vezins and another Cadillo and try and make an offensive play happen. I love to see the shift in pace coming in from Static Creed there, trying to throw off their opponent, but I think a flash came in that was a self-flash that ended up blinding one of the teammates on that push, and then that door blocker swing. Nobody watching the door blocker. Everybody had eyes on the same angle, and that's one thing you really want to avoid as a unit when you push in like that, is that everybody should be looking at different angles.
We see Filibust finding the kill on Gravity. Tog out in the courtyard at the moment as Phil almost finding a kill. Does find that kill. A very, very solid play from Filibust there. Tire Tongue over in lower lounge as Cleric picking up 2. Finds the kill on Impala. Gets refragged by Big Man, but finds Big Man with a frag. Truce Neutral picking up a kill on Filibust as Peppa Pig swings Truce Neutral to close out this matchup. Devour Esports are your winners. They secured the first half lockout, which means that Static Creed can no longer win this map and tie it up. So, Devour Esports are your official winners.
think we will still play out the rest of the map. We'll have to get at least these next 2 rounds before that is finished. But in terms of the series, they have locked that in at this stage. The best that Static Creed can do is tie, and with a map 1 win going to Devour Esports 7-4, a map 2 tie, and now a map 3, well, again, at best case, tie for Static Creed, it would mean that Devour Esports do take that W. So, again, a solid performance from them, and curious to see what we get out of our last round. Well, potential last round, I should say, because again, there could be 6 put up on the board. The damage should be minimized at this stage. If you're Static Creed, you want to put rounds on the board because at the end of the day, how much a team goes up or down in rank is also determined by how many rounds you've locked in, alongside how many, alongside getting that map win. So if they can get a couple of rounds here on the defensive end, it's going to be valuable to them at the end of the day to minimize how much they go down in that overall ladder, which matters because it puts you in seeding for the Challenger Cup. Everything matters. In these last weeks, as Truist Neutral opens things up on the defense with the first kill.
Yeah, that starting defense was really just not good for Static Creed, as Peppa Pig will pick up the kill on Impala. It's now a 4 versus 2. Tog finds Peppa Pig. Chosen One, the last member of Devour, up looks to swing, finding one on Tog. It's going to have to 1v3 this, which is still possible, but overall, Devour Esports, I mean, you've got to imagine what the mental might be like for Static Creed. You got to feel maybe some sense of defeat. Hopefully they're not too bogged down by that, and they can continue and hopefully, tie up this third map. But Devour, ultimately that 6-0 first half walkout just proved, how important it can be if you're a really good team and you start off on defense on Skyscraper. You can really, really make things work.
A big 6-0 again for the Devour squad. And let's see if Chosen One can 1v3 clutch this. 1:30 on the clock. They're waiting to be pushed through this doorway where they've got at least a slight bit of coverage. I would say about half quarter coverage. Still no easy task. Bullets not unlimited, and so you have to choose if they do want to put bullets to the wall or towards 3 opponents that they're going to need to eliminate here. And the first one will be Big Man if they do decide to peek out Gravity. Maybe, and oh my gosh, they chose to peek when everyone was looking. All 3 players on Static Creed here to get them at least a round on the board and avoid the full 6-0. They'll now be able to go into this next round, I imagine, holding on to their cash, but maybe not because it is, potentially the final round if they lose. So invest everything. What's the point in saving? Because if you do lose, you lose it all anyway. So maybe we will see Static Creed actually invest big off of a round win instead of holding on to it for the next round.
Yeah, on Factory, it might play a little bit differently. They were trying to find a round there before losing. On Skyscraper, it feels like you need to buy that round to Vezin if you have the opportunity to, because you need that advantage of the defense combined with the Vezin as well. It seems like it would almost be foolish to double eco if you're on defense, especially in this situation for Static Creed. And I think at this point Devour is just gonna throw things at the wall and see if anything can stick, because it looks like they're going to full send it into upper lounge right now. Here goes Peppa Pig as they get ready to swing in. There's one entry. Truist Neutral might set up here for just a slaughter. Finding 2 does go down to Chosen One, who drops 2. Oh my goodness, no way. Clearing took out both themselves and Chosen One with the frag. Big Man found Tire Tongue, as Static Creed will pick up that second round here. I think at this point we're just going to see Devour Esports just kind of rushing in to these sites.
That could have been a really good play. I mean, they would have had control of that A site, and it would have been a 3v3 battle with pistols if that nade hadn't have killed 2. Cleric, the MVP for the Static Creed squad there, and an unfortunate team kill or 2 there, and ultimately we go into our third round of the second half pretty quickly. Full buy, and maybe that's the intention, to kind of get here to a point where Devour can invest into the rifles and put up a solid challenge on offense.
You know, they know they've won at this point on Devour, so I think they're just gonna keep trying and go for the fast plays, you know, to see if something can work against Static Creed. But ultimately, they don't need to win in this final match. They just needed to tie it. But you know, they're still gonna certainly try against Static Creed, who now have Vezins and a Maruhi and Gravity actually running RCP at the moment. Devour droning out that second floor, looking for Impala, who's over in Cubby at the moment, heading over to storage. We see Big Man just in that broadcast hallway, does get droned out by Devour, who start to drill that. There we have a frag tossed out that almost finds Chosen One. Filibust just waiting outside, watching that broadcast hallway window. Big Man looking for a kill there as Chosen One will find the kill on Big Man. Good start for Devour Esports. They were able to put a dent in this Static Creed defense. We see another frag tossed, however, by Gravity, although the door blocker will actually block that, and Gravity will salvage that Vezin from Big Man. 2 minutes on the clock, but Peppa Pig finding the kill on Gravity. Here we have Impala, though, on the flank. May find the kill on Peppa Pig. Minute 50 left on the clock. Impala will find the kill on Peppa Pig. It's now a 4 versus 3. And Devour. Oh, Cleric is taken out by Tog as Tire Tongue will drop, heading down to lower north stairs. Just kind of biding their time, waiting for a roamer. Impala there on the roam as Tire Tongue and Impala ready to swing each other. Tire Tongue will set off that proximity alarm. I don't know if Tire Tongue spotted Impala there, but just rotating completely around. Now over to Filibust and Chosen One, who are over by the south stairs. Truce Neutral picks up the kill on Filibust as it's now a 2 versus 3. Static Creed definitely bringing this round back. Now a minute left on the clock. Chosen One with that EMP. Tire Tongue with the Vezin is taken out by Truest Neutral. It's now just down to Chosen One, who's on 21 health here. Can potentially find 3 headshots here, but it's going to be difficult for Devour to get this round.
It is indeed, and an unfortunate couple of rounds here on the offense for Devour. They're going to be in bad shape going into this next round. It's maybe why Chosen One is tucking in, trying to hold on to this rifle, and ultimately doing a bit of dancing on top of the table in the kitchen, as they do. By time, little Macarena, and I don't know, I suppose celebrating a win, still feeling, like you said, feeling good, and really, you know, putting on some good moves here. I love to see the little show.
You know what's interesting, though, is Storm pointed out in the chat, the more they lose, the less they will go up this, so there's no point in goofing around. That's a good point. You know, the 5-man rush, though, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if that was Devour goofing around, or if they actually intended for that play to work out and potentially throw off Static Creed. And I think it's more of the latter, because it almost did throw off Static Creed. If Cleric didn't blow themselves and a teammate up with the nade, it might have gone differently. But we'll see what happens in this round.
It's an eco round for Devour, so it really could be a 4-6, 4-7, at least 5. I mean, there's a chance that they tie this third map up, honestly, and then the loss really minimized by Static Creed, because it'll only be a 3-point loss overall in total score because of that first map 1 loss. So yeah, it's every round does matter, and you know, the 6-0 curse, the 5-1 curse, definitely hitting Devour Esports right now. They're just not able to find it and pull it together for that final round they need. It also is obviously the side swap, the reset, everything going the way of Static Creed on defense here. And you know, JVs, you're seeing a lot of kills getting connected ultimately by Devour Esports, but so, I mean, Static Creed's been fighting every bit of the way.
Absolutely, an incredible frag by Gravity there taking out Cleric as we see 2.5 minutes on the clock. 4 versus 5 here. Devour making entry into lobby, and I think Gravity may have just been a little bit early with that shot on the window there, but Impala finding the kill on Tire Tongue. Impala dropping a second. I didn't even see Impala over there. It's now just down to Peppa Pig and Filibuster 2v5. And yeah, I mean, to your point again, it really does matter, all of the rounds here. Peppa Pig almost caught by that frag. 2 minutes on the clock. As we see, Filibuster opens up the office window there. Devour going to try and close this out as quickly as they can, but Tog finding the kill on Filibuster. Static Creed just refuses to go down without a fight, which you got to respect there. 1:40 on the clock, as it's now just down to Peppa Pig.
And no, you were right. It's 1:40 on the claws. Holidays are coming up. It's on the mind. It's okay. Perfectly reasonable. Yeah, Pepe alone in the 1v5. Not gonna, I would imagine, clutch this up with a pistol against 5 rifles. But hey, a dream can be a dream, and they have a lot of time to work with. Don't necessarily know what the plan could possibly be. Maybe it is to just eco the utility out. Save the smoke and the breaching foam. Take that with you through the next round, but that's the best they would be able to do outside of pushing in and finding a killer.
I think it's a combination of saving the util, but I think what Peppa Pig is doing is looking for Impala, because Peppa knew that Impala was up here, so they were just looking for Impala to try and potentially salvage a free Vezin off of Impala, which Devour could certainly use. Although the problem for Peppa Pig is they don't know where Impala is, and they drop right in front of Impala to give this 10th round to Static Creed. They now pick up their 4th round.
The fight. There's no easy rounds for this Devour Esports squad. Maybe now they've woken up a bit, as they're going to be able to full by here for the next 2 rounds if they do lose again. And this is the do or die in a lot of ways. Well, I guess these next 2 really, you just need 1 point for Devour Esports to take this map and take the series. I suppose, again, I've been saying they already have taken the series, but man, what a it's encouraging to see from Static Creed how much they are fighting here despite already losing the series. It's not easy to do, we like to talk about momentum and factoring that all in, and to have known that you lost the series and still play well, it's really a testament to the Static Creed team and how they are really fighting in that top 20 to climb the ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to a certain extent, they probably realize, hey, we can... Oh, Truce Neutral just took themselves out with reverse friendly fire. Interesting. Okay, I'm not sure what happened there. We do see a drone moving into lobby. And this could potentially be bad for Static Creed, because they've lost a player incredibly early without losing... without Devour losing any utility, any weapons, or any players. So could be bad for Static Creed, but they've got to be careful, because Gravity here is on the flank once again. May completely catch Devour off guard, although Filibus is watching that lobby lounge window. Big man goes bowling, finding Tire Tongue. There's the breaching foam onto Conference as Gravity picks up the kill on Chosen One. It's now a 4 versus 3, and Static Creed have done an excellent job of gaining the momentum back here. Tog finding the kill on Filibust, as it's now a 4 versus 2. It's down to Cleric and Peppa Pig. Gravity swinging Peppa Pig secures that kill. Will go down to Cleric, but Cleric will get refragged by Big Man, and Static Creed now 1 round off of tying this final map up. And I wonder if this entire match would have been decided by the team who was on defense first. It's looking like that.
We're a round short of playing every round possible this afternoon too, as a note, Gibb. So these teams definitely playing for a long time on top of, playing competitively this afternoon. So quite the fight that we have gotten ourselves into on a Thursday night. And a big shout out to everyone that has been hanging out and sticking through for the entirety of this series. We appreciate you in the chat. Please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already. We are on the cusp of breaking over 1,200 subscribers, and I would dare say that there could be a giveaway on the horizon if we do manage to achieve that. So keep your eyes peeled on announcements for if that's going to be the case. But oh man, certainly a exciting game to tune into again on a Thursday night. Another great series tomorrow night as well. If you do want to make sure you catch all of the action, I'll be jumping into Aspect versus Indomitable and Gib. There's even, that one's going to be, that's there's a lot of eyes on Aspect right now.
Absolutely. A lot of eyes on Indomitable as well. Don't forget, they beat Formula 3 last week, which was a massive upset, 66-6. Connoisseurs were upset because that completely ruined their connoisseur history. Big Man finding Chosen One with a trip minus. Here comes Tire Tongue swinging into the podcast room, picks up the kill on Big Man, but will go down to Tog. It's now a 4 versus 3 as both sides just kind of trading players. Sada Creed will walk out with the numbers advantage. However, Devour Esports might be able to get into Site A here, and Paula finding the kill on Filibus. There's an incendiary toss to his Cleric, finding the kill on Tog. Who's got the EMP? It's Peppa Pig, who's looking to bring up the flank there. The Truce Neutral finding the kill on Cleric. Peppa Pig, however, securing the kill on Truce Neutral with that frag grenade. And I feel like I have to shout because that proximity alarm is so loud. We see Gravity in podcast. Peppa Pig will take that out, and Gravity will swing. Peppa Pig secures that kill. Static Creed went down fighting. They secured the tie on map 3. Nobody is going to win this, but in terms of the series, Devour will walk away as the overall winner.
I mean, this almost stings even more if you're Static Creed, because you could have tied the whole series with just one more round, on defense, one more round somewhere in this series. But you can't play the what-if game, especially with a great performance that we've seen here this afternoon. And ultimately happy again that we stopped into this battle back and forth. Happy everyone else tuned in to it. And we appreciate everybody, including all of our sponsors, in supporting the VRML so that we can provide you with high-quality broadcasts like we have this afternoon. A shout out to Gib as well for jumping in and ultimately hosting. It's why there hasn't been cameras, because Gib was not prepared to host. I was supposed to host, and so my apologies there. And again, I appreciate you picking up the slack there, Gib. Nobody would have known. I suppose a little peeling back the onion for everyone at home. But again, worth the shout out for you there for us ultimately still providing us what was a great series. So again, just happy to be here.
Absolutely, and thanks for joining halfway through. And yeah, what an exciting matchup this has been. I mean, really, the decider was Hideout, and it's really interesting to think, that this game was decided on the first map. But here we are, 2 maps later, and both of them were draws. We actually came very, very close to the rare 666s, which has only ever happened, I think, once or twice in the VRML history, and that happened in the preseason. So excellent game from both of these teams, but that is going to do it for the VRML tonight. I'm Gibular Bob. This has been Nightfire, my wonderful co-cast, and we will see you all in the next broadcast, which Nightfire will be doing tomorrow night. So make sure you don't miss that one, because that'll be quite the interesting matchup. Have a good night, everybody.
VRML is brought to you by Triangle Factory, HyperX, ProTube VR, VR Cover. Thanks for watching VRML.